My name is Riley Cronin.
Lily Ferrier and Hannah Abrams, and we're the historians of the class of 2026. I'd like to begin by recognizing school committee members, administration, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the soon-to-be graduates of Narragansett High School. Welcome to the commencement ceremony of the class of 2026.
Please stand if you're able and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a special presentation of the Star Spangled Banner, played by Javier Benavides, Ethan Smith, Elena Waterston, and Abby Gibbs.
Good evening, families, faculty, staff, school committee members, honored guests, and most importantly, the Narragansett High School class of 2026. Seniors, it's the last time I can call you that. I just want to give you a message and let you know that you have left your mark. You have left your mark on this school, on this community, and on the educators who have the privilege to know you. In many ways, our story together began at exactly the same moment. On September 6th, 2022, for you, it was the first day of high school. For me, it was the first day of working at Narragansett High School. You arrived as freshmen, equal parts excited and nervous, and if I'm being honest, I understood that feeling better than you probably realized. Because while you were learning the building, the expectations, and trying to figure out what high school would become for you, I was learning too. I was learning the traditions of Narragansett High School, learning what made this place special, learning your names, routines, and learning that you were the heartbeat of the school community. There's something humbling about being new. Being new means not having all the answers, it means making mistakes, and it means growing. Over the last 4 years, that is exactly what we have done together. I've grown to watch you from freshmen trying to figure things out into the leaders who shaped our school in the most meaningful way. And whether you realize it or not, you have changed this place for the better. You've left your mark. Now, every graduation speech includes accomplishments, and the class of 2026 made this part really easy. But tonight, rather than just list your achievements, I want to talk about each one of them, because that's who you guys really are. You've left your mark through service. This class contributed over 3,000 hours of community service. That number matters, but is that it represented the kindness, generosity, and willingness to make this community better. We have left your mark through academic excellence and intellectual curiosity. This class challenged itself in extraordinary ways. You earned 8 AP Scholar Awards, 6 AP Scholars with Honor Awards, 8 AP Scholars with Distinction Awards. There are 23 memberships to the National Honor Society, 53 memberships to the Rhode Island Honor Society, 10 students who earned the Seal of High Literacy, and 30 students who completed a career technical education pathway. You pursued excellence at the highest level. There are 2 U.S. Presidential Scholar candidates, 2 National Merit Scholarship semifinalists, and 1 National Merit Scholarship recipient. And together, you have accomplished something that's truly historic. You achieved the highest SAT scores in Narragansett high school history. At the same time, our school earned an AP Excellent Award for the highest growth in AP enrollment in Rhode Island, because this class didn't just pursue opportunities for themselves. You guys helped create a culture where more students believe that they belong in challenging spaces. That is your legacy to me. You also left your mark outside of the classroom. You left your mark through talent, discipline, and determination. In athletics, arts, extracurriculars, you represented the school with tremendous pride. This class includes 32 one-sport athletes, 17 two-sport athletes, 8 three-sport athletes, 2 four-sport athletes, 72 all-academic student athletes, 56 all-division student athletes, and 13 all-state student athletes. You were members of state championship teams in football in 2025, boys tennis in 2025, and girls basketball in 2025. Because of the culture of excellence that you guys helped create, Narragansett High School was named the Athletic School of the Year for 2026. In music and the arts, your impact is equally as powerful. We had 6 All-State musicians, 4 RIMEA nominees, and 8 Ocean State Star Award nominees. You brought creativity, passion, and pride to this community. You also left your mark for leadership opportunities. This class includes the recipient of the Lieutenant Governor's Leadership Award, the RIIL Leadership and Service Award, and the Female Student Athlete of the Year Award. These accomplishments are impressive. What I remember most is this. People will not remember you for your awards, your scores, your championships, or your recognitions. They'll remember the way you made them feel. They'll remember your kindness, your humor, and your resilience. The way you helped others, and the way you carried yourself. The way you made this school a better place simply by being a part of it. And that brings me back to where we started. September 6th, 2022. We walked into Narragansett High School together. Neither of us fully knew what the next 4 years would hold. But standing here tonight, I can tell you something with complete confidence. You've left your mark on me. You've made me a better educator, better leader, and a better person. You have left your mark on your teachers, the people who challenged you, encouraged you, worried about you, laughed with you, and believed in you. You have left your mark on Narragansett High School. And now, class of 2026, it is time for you to leave your mark on the world. Go, lead, create, serve, and most importantly, take risks. When things feel uncertain, remember this. You do not need to have everything figured out. After all, on September 6th, 2022, none of us did. But growth comes from showing up. It comes from learning, it comes from failing, and it comes from trying again. And becoming something greater than yourself is what it's all about. You've already proven that you can do that. Congratulations, class of 2026. Thank you for the part. Good evening.
On behalf of the Narragansett School Committee, the Jamestown School Committee, and the entire faculty, staff, and administration of the Narragansett school system, congratulations to the Narragansett High School class of 2026. Reflecting on your journey, it is clear that this class has made an exceptional mark on our community. Over the past 10 years as superintendent, I have watched you grow into an amazing group, and you have made our community better in countless ways. Each one of you has faced and overcome challenges, developing the grit and determination that are so essential to reach your goals. Whether you were adapting to new situations, pushing through personal or family hardships, or stretching your learning through challenging courses and senior projects, you have emerged stronger and more capable and ready for what comes next. And as a group, you've also managed to have a lot of fun along the way. As Mr. McCloskey noted, your achievements across the board are nothing short of remarkable. In the arts, we've seen extraordinary exhibitions of talent, creativity, and expression. In athletics, you brought home numerous division class and state championships. And academically, you set a new standard for the Narragansett school system. You seized every opportunity to challenge yourselves. Of course, you've not made this journey alone. I would like to acknowledge the terrific faculty and staff, and I thank them for all they do each day to support our students. Their dedication to you is truly remarkable. I also want to thank our parents, guardians, family, and friends who helped you chart your course and arrive here today. Graduates, please take a moment at some point today to acknowledge those who have helped you along the way. It means so much more than you know. As you managers embark from Narragansett High School, remember the lessons that you learned here. Embrace every challenge with the same determination you have shown over the past 4 years. Maintain a growth mindset, always believing in your ability to learn, adapt, and improve. Celebrate your accomplishments, but never settle. Continue to strive for excellence in all that you do. Congratulations, class of 26. You have developed the power to make a difference, to create, to inspire, and to lead. To continue on the path that you've started here at Narragansett, you're going to do great things. We are proud of you. We believe in you. And cannot wait to see what comes next. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian Duncan. I'm the class president of the class of 2026. I've been invited to share with you all an ode to the class of 2026. We are the product of support received from loving teachers, of growing up with each other these many years, of a decade of enhancing our school spirit from cramped bleachers, of facing difficult problems and overcoming our fears. But we started school standing just below our parents' knees, excited and expectant of our first days with no thoughts of our last, riding on the swings during recess, only thinking, "Whee!" Each day new and bright, but we just wanted school to go by fast. And then in middle school, we carried on, excited and eager about every new person we met, taking time to form strong bonds and making steadfast friends. Between all this, still finding time to learn about the ancient Greeks with Mr. Narragansett, and all the while never imagining that someday our childhood would end. Freshman year, we made it smack dab in the middle of a new scene, getting to see teachers and building we would spend the last 4 years with, scrounging by our first midterms and finals to keep our grades clean. But through it all, graduation still seemed like a minute. 4 years had approached, and now it's finally here. We stand before you, 94 students, the whole big lot of us. It's the end of our childhood, but we all stand here ready to cheer, remembering the many memories from halls, classes, or even the bus. We stand here for one final time, remembering our first day, Sad moment knowing that everything will turn out fine, watching our parents save their tears. I'm okay. Thank you.
Good evening, honored guests, faculty, family, and friends, and happy graduation day to the fantastic class of 2026. My name is Katie Jones Pirogomi, and I'm a social studies teacher at Narragansett High School, and I am so honored that the class of 2026 asked me to speak today. And so, graduates, as you head off to your next adventures, I'd like to offer you some advice for my life in the years after I graduated high school, told in 3 chapters. Chapter 1, SPAM. When I graduated high school, I had the modest and completely achievable life plan of becoming Secretary General of the United Nations. My backup plan was running for president. So in my freshman year, I worked hard and applied to approximately 7 million internships. I had my heart set on the United Nations. I didn't get it, and I took it very personally. It felt as if all of the diplomats at the United Nations came together in a rare moment of international agreement and decided that Katie Jones wasn't good enough. A month later, still wallowing in rejection from the UN, I got an email about a State Department scholarship. The email looked like spam. I almost deleted it. But the scholarship turned out to be real. It was the height of the war on terror, and the government wanted to send Americans to the Middle East to learn Arabic. I had applied and then promptly forgotten all about it. After my parents called the State Department an embarrassing amount of times, I said yes to this unexpected opportunity. So in June, flying by myself for the very first time, I arrived in Tunis, Tunisia. I began taking Arabic classes with about 20 other American college students. One of my friends in the program told me my favorite piece of advice for living in a new place. It is deceptively simple. Listen, legitimately listen to people. Be open-minded. Don't go into a conversation trying to win a debate. So after finishing daily Arabic lessons, I wandered around Tunis with friends, listening to Tunisians share their views on Americans and our role in the world, their desire for real elections and freedom of speech, on the role of religion in society, or just their favorite food or music or movies. Over the course of that summer, my concept of how the world worked expanded so rapidly it felt like an explosion. Listening to people taught me that the Middle East was way different than what I had learned growing up in Southeast Town, Rhode Island. So here's my first official piece of advice. Be open. Sometimes a life-changing opportunity comes after what feels like failure. And if you say yes to an opportunity, commit to it. Learn as much as you can and actually listen to people. Let the world surprise and fascinate you. Chapter 2, Sports Team. In my junior year of college, I studied abroad in Egypt at the American University of Cairo. In my first weeks there, an Egyptian classmate mentioned his girlfriend was trying to start a women's sports team. In fact, they were fairly desperate for women who had any vague sort of experience playing sports. And luckily, a vague sort of experience playing sports is the perfect way to describe my athletic abilities. In the spirit of being open to new opportunities, I said yes. And this is how I joined the Egyptian women's national rugby team. At first, it wasn't the women's national team. No one really knew how to play rugby, but it was fun and I had a supportive, inclusive group of friends. The coaches wanted to create a national team. There was only one other women's team in Egypt, so the idea was to host a scrimmage and then determine the best players. I played the scrimmage. I had no idea what I was doing, but some women on the other team knew even less than I did. During the game, a woman tried to tackle me by grabbing my throat. I spent the rest of the game frantically fleeing from her. I have never run harder in my life. Somehow, that brave display of athleticism got me a spot on the national team, as long as no one looked at how long I'd actually lived in Egypt. But it was at this point that I decided that I might be done with this opportunity. So now I will add on to my original piece of advice. Be open and say yes to opportunities, but learn when to say no. Saying no is just as important as saying yes. Listen to others, but also listen to yourself with an open mind. Figure out what you like and what you don't like. I don't regret my time as a rugby star in Egypt, but I'm glad I listened to myself and said no to continuing on the national team. I realized that my favorite part of being on the national team was bragging about being on the national team. I also realized I don't like rugby. When you're thinking about whether to say yes or no to opportunities, consider these questions. Are you doing it because it's good for you, because you actually want to do it? Or are you doing it because of what others think, because it will make you look impressive? It took me a while to take my own advice. After I graduated, I worked at an international nonprofit in New York City. On paper, it sounded impressive. In reality, I was very miserable. After a year, I finally listened to myself and said no to staying in New York. Instead, I said yes to getting better at Arabic. My path forward changed again. I headed to the American University of Beirut for graduate school. And now on to Chapter 3, my shoe. When I arrived in Lebanon, I tried to find a part-time job. A friend connected me with a youth-led democracy organization where I could intern with the potential of a future paid position. I prepared to wow them. On my first day, I wore an amazing outfit. I had on really great shoes, professional but also very cool. I took a bus to downtown Beirut. With my hair flowing in the Mediterranean breeze, looking like the absolute pinnacle of sophistication, I stepped forward in my professional but cool shoes. And then I sank knee-deep into wet cement. I quickly yanked my leg out of the sidewalk, but I left a shoe behind, just like a professional but cool Cinderella. I washed off as much cement as possible. I turned around to find a construction worker had already smoothed over the cement, forever sealing my professional but cool shoe into a Beirut sidewalk. There was a shop nearby, so I hopped over to it. Luckily, the shop sold shoes. However, the only shoes for sale were in very large men's sizes. They also happened to be banana yellow flip-flops. I bought them, and then I determinedly flip-flopped to the offices of the Sustainable Democracy Center. I really wanted that job. Eventually, I was officially hired there. It changed my path yet again. It is also the reason that I am perhaps excessively passionate about civics. One of the initiatives of that organization was to hold peaceful dialogues between different religious groups. Lebanon has lived through a series of civil wars, and these religious groups have often fought against one another. I traveled around Lebanon attending these dialogues. In this setting, listening was an opportunity to prevent future violence. Listening to different perspectives felt urgent. No matter where the dialogue was held, on the border with Syria, in the south by Israel, in a village with buildings still scarred by war, my co-workers and young people in the organization earnestly listened to others, open-minded and free of judgment. But they also wouldn't hesitate to speak up. If a participant used dehumanizing terms towards other groups, they would call it out. They would explain how the language we use shapes our thoughts. If we think of others as less than human, it is easier to commit violence against them. There are a lot of psychology studies showing how just one person speaking up can shift the thoughts and behaviors of witnesses. It is really powerful. I watched Lebanese young people continually do this. They work tirelessly to heal their country. It is one of the most inspiring things I've ever seen. So for this final chapter, I'm going to add on to my original advice again. Be open and listen to others, but also have the courage to speak up. Listening to others can help heal divisions. Pushing back against what is wrong can encourage others to do the same. And if you really want an opportunity, fight for it. If you want it badly enough, be willing to show up in enormous yellow flip-flops with cement all over your leg. And also, it's generally good advice to watch where you're walking so your shoe doesn't end up beneath the sidewalk. Epilogue. You might notice that I am not currently Secretary General of the United Nations. I wandered from the path I set for myself when I graduated high school. I think my life has been much better because of this wandering. It has made me a better person, educator, and community member. Saying yes to new opportunities and listening to new perspectives allowed me to figure out the kind of person I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. So as you prepare to graduate, as you consider what path you want to take, I hope you stay open. Staying open doesn't mean you'll end up across the globe like I did. Staying open can mean trying out new opportunities and talking to new people and really actually listening. Take a class out of your comfort zone, hang out with a different group, join a new club, try a new sport, maybe even rugby. The world can be ugly and cruel and unjust, but if you are legitimately listening, if you are open to it, it is also surprisingly tender and weird and silly and beautiful, full of different opportunities, big and small. And who knows where these opportunities might take you. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2026.
Going to be a hard one to follow, Ms. Jones. But we'll try. Good evening, class of 2026, faculty, administration, school committee, guests, and everyone else. First, I just want to thank my family, friends, teachers, and everyone who has supported me through my life and shaped the person I am today. Thank you, Mom. My name is Ethan. season, and I am honored and humbled to be speaking to you all tonight. Tonight celebrating all we have accomplished during our journey here at NHS. However, I don't really feel the need to talk about our accomplishments or memories. We made them together, and there will be plenty of reminiscing tonight. Instead, I feel it would be best to talk about what comes next. Whether this is your first year or 12th at NHS, or in the school system, congratulations on a job well done. After all, that's what this was, a job. Something that we had to get done. We knew the end goal, we buckled down, and we achieved it. But I think in life, looking at things only as a job to get done can diminish the purpose and joy we glean from living. As we move from the repetitious grind of high school into the freedom of the world, it is important to remember that life is not just a job. It is a blank canvas, an opportunity for us to paint our own future. I am an awful painter, although I can certainly take a math test. But for some of you out there, painting is a gift that you have. And I think that's something important to recognize. I'm standing here giving this speech, yes, as a result of much hard work over the past few years. I'm giving this speech because I'm the number one in the class. However, I am not. There is so much more to life than grades, so much more than purely academics, that to rank people based on this is senselessly reductive. We have possibly one of the most diverse classes. We have artists, musicians, athletes, scholars. And I think what is so incredible is most of us don't fit into just one of those boxes. We are each of us our own unique individual human being. We will go out to be parts of the communities which we enter after high school as our own unique puzzle piece, and we must remember that. After all, unless the puzzle you're making is a polar bear snowstorm, the pieces will always be different. We all have different gifts, different passions, different strengths, and none are less than the other. Of course, considering the central role the education system has had in our lives the past however many years, the academic ones seem to be emphasized the most. But to me, this feels disingenuous. After all, for all of us, high school ends tonight, and formal instruction may not be a part of the future for some of us. To me, the biggest achievements in life are not academic. They are those that come from helping make the world a better place. When you build a house, after all, you don't call an astrophysicist, but you also don't call just a carpenter. You call plumbers, electricians, roofers, and everybody that you need to fill all the roles to build that house. Some of us will go out and fill these exact roles, and some will go fill others in a myriad of fields, but one is never less than the other, simply unique and different. Pursue what you enjoy and are good at, not what you are told to pursue, and success will surely follow. On that note, I was once told going into my senior year by a priest that I was close with, comparison is the thief of joy. And this is something that has remained in my mind ever since. So often we get caught up in the world around us and everything others are doing, that we forget ourselves and what we have done. Take a moment to reflect on your accomplishments right now, big and small, for you all have them. Going forward in life, stay true to yourself and be proud of your accomplishments. The eagle doesn't run and the wolf doesn't fly, as for either to try would be foolish. Everybody has their own path, and to walk someone else's is to lose your own. Sometimes this may feel challenging. You may feel lost, or you may feel behind, or that what you're doing is not enough, or that you are just stumbling through life. Not all who wander are lost, though, and after darkness of the night, the sunrise will always bring light. Remain true to yourself, even when it feels hard, and you will find that your life will truly be yours to live, and your dreams yours to pursue. Of course, dreams will remain just that if you don't act on them. Dreams. Life is not a passive endeavor. It is one that must be tackled with effort, heart, and passion. Wanting something is not enough, nor is being good at that something. When talent doesn't work hard, hard work will beat talent. But both together are unstoppable. Chase your dreams with enthusiasm and effort. Stay that hour after practice to get better. Do that extra assignment to better prepare yourself for the test. Go to office hours in college to really understand the content. Neil Armstrong didn't just say, yeah, I guess I want to be an astronaut. To be the first man to step foot on the moon took years of commitment, drive, and consistent effort. My favorite tennis player, Rafael Nadal, struggled his entire career with a foot injury so extreme that in the 2022 French Open final, he had it numb to the point where he could no longer feel his leg for the entire match, which he ended up winning. About that, he said, the key was the suffering was less than my passion and my happiness for what I was doing. In our own lives, we too will be faced with setbacks, challenges, times when we feel what we are doing isn't worth it. But we must remember the why. For Nadal, it was his love of tennis. For us, it could be anything. In a job, possibly it is because we know we need to make money. For college, it could be we know the benefit it will bring when we graduate. In a relationship, perhaps it's the joy we find in caring for and being around another person. In life is that we will continue to live, and as Gandalf said, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. It's up to us whether we decide to sit back and allow our setbacks and struggles to define us, or whether we grab the proverbial bull of life by the horns and fight for our best future. This is a decision that is not made once, but continually. You must choose to live, choose to work hard, choose to go out and conquer every day that we struggle and seize every success we want. There is nobody to do it for us. Thankfully, I know all of you, and I know you do not need anyone to live your life for you. Our success may not be in the same areas, and that success may feel differently for all of us, but having known you all in our small class of 94, I can confidently say each one of us is destined for greatness. What does all of this mean? What have the past 4 years really meant? What was all of our work for, our study and tests, the seemingly endless workload? I'd actually argue it is inconsequential in the grand scheme of what high school is truly about. Oftentimes in class when we learn derivatives or how photosynthesis works, we find ourselves asking, but when will I ever use this question? Of course, for some of us, the path we walk will require these skills. But the majority of specific information we learn will be obsolete. Instead, I'd argue we should take 3 things away from our experience. First, the ability to solve problems. This is the answer to the when will I use this question. You probably won't, but you will use the critical thinking skills and problem-solving skills you needed to factor that all-known wheel. And these life skills will help bring you success whether you are a loadmaster in the Air Force or studying to be a doctor. Secondly, the value of communication. English class was never about just studying Shakespeare. It was to learn to better communicate with others, to better process information in a world where we are consistently bombarded with it. Just as history class was never about learning about Sumeria, but instead to understand the world in which we live and the context of the tumultuous events surrounding us. All of this allows us to understand better and operate within our world. Most importantly, however, are the social skills we learned. I'll admit, for me, it was a slow uptake. I was never the most social, always anxious, meeting new people, doing my best to at least seem chill, I guess. But in the past couple years, I've had much growth in this realm. To the point where now the parts of high school I treasure most are those small moments with friends. Having fun, turning a rat into a puppet during a dissection, sorry mysteries, or maybe even laughing when a teacher unwittingly said 6-7. I've thoroughly enjoyed the memories I've made with all of you, and that is why I think high school is so important. We had fun and built lasting bonds. Everybody here is a good kid, and the achievements we have made are meaningful, but in life there's still so much more to learn beyond high school. As such, going forward, remember this. Cherish the small moments, and don't get caught up in the outside moments. Stay true to yourself, seize every day, and find joy. A life dedicated to living with joy is the best life you can live. Do not lose sight of where you came from, and know you have this network of us that we can rely on. Now is the part where I would wish you all good luck, but I won't, since that is for those who are not prepared for life. We all are. So instead, class of 2026, I await the tales of your accomplishments. I'm proud to know you all and am certain that there is no obstacle you cannot conquer. Stay true to yourself, stay driven, and stay happy. Thank you.
The peace-chasing sunlight is a musical portrayal of driving west at the setting sun, trying to keep up with the Earth's rotation to catch the last few rays of light before dusk. Our band singers thought this piece would be a wonderful way to close out their high school band experience, enjoying the final few moments making music together before heading off their separate ways for their own adventures. This piece features solos by Gabe Mill on trumpet and Forrest McNamara on xylophone.
At first, I was thinking of reading my speech on my phone, but then I got scared that the slow sweat snatched out of my head. Our class of 2026 and our entire community, good evening. My name is Amrita Karuna Loman. I never thought that I, someone who used to be extremely shy, would be standing here today giving a speech in front of all of you. I'm here because of our community. None of us have reached this point alone. Thank you to our families and family friends who have been here throughout our lives to cheer us up or believe in us when we needed it. Your help has been invaluable. You've volunteered at school events, athletic boosters, and PTO, and driven us around, and sometimes driven us up the wall by giving advice. Thank you to everyone who has helped make our school run. our teachers, coaches, admin, board, guidance counselors, custodians, and staff. Our teachers have cared about us not just as students, but as people. We will always remember the weird but funny icebreakers, the rounds of catchphrase, the class and advisory parties with healthy snacks like donuts, munchkins, and of course, pot roast, and all the other touches that help make high school feel less like school and more like a second home. All of us are also here because of each other. Many of us have toddled together in diapers, taught each other to swing, or shoved each other off the monkey bars. We have watched each other develop different interests and strengths. We've enthusiastically supported successes in various clubs. We've cheered on our athletes, even on rainy days, as they set school records and won championships. We've supported our FFA students at nationals. We've clapped as our band, choir, and theater students put on performances. We've admired our fellow students' artwork, honored our CTE students' achievements, and celebrated our AP scholars at awards night. And most importantly, we rejoiced in each other's successes without jealousy. We were as happy when someone else delivered an outstanding performance as when we excelled ourselves. This sense of camaraderie has been strengthened over the years by the activities and events we have participated in together. Freshman and sophomore year, on field day, we tripped and fell over each other in tug-of-war, tried to avoid doing the same in crazy rap, and outsmarted our teachers at Simon Says. Not always, but at least sometimes. And despite having phenomenal athletes and boasting numerous trophies, our class still managed to lose field day as sophomores. Junior year, we made memories not by being at the college fair, but by getting stranded on our way to it. This year, as seniors, we have connected more than ever. We crowned one another with superlatives and carried through a prank that created lifelong bonds, especially between Adrian and Luke. We rooted for each other when we launched our boats in Physics Olympics, only to watch many of us sink or tip over, like me. We entertained each other, and especially the teachers, in Tri-Civic karaoke. Over the years, we formed great friendships that were seriously tested by betrayals in senior assassin. But perhaps the deepest bonds we created were not over school, but over missing school on senior skip days. We have even come together outside of school to speak up for the rights to liberty, equality, and justice promised by our nation for everyone. In my mother tongue of Bummer, there is a proverb that says, if enough ants work together, they can erode even a stone. The bonds our class has formed before and throughout high school have allowed us all to overcome our own obstacles and succeed together. In the future, I hope we will continue to hold on to the people we are and the friendships we have forged as much as the lessons we learned in the classroom and on the field. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Sophia Tibiasio, and I've had the honor of serving as secretary for the class of 2026. On behalf of our entire class council and the grade as a whole, I want to take a moment to thank Mrs. Hull and Mr. Leonard for everything they've done to shape our high school experience over these last 4 years. To us, they've been so much more than just class advisors. They've been the people who showed up for us, who made time for us even when their schedules were overflowing, and who always made it clear that they were there for us. Whether it was helping us pull off fundraisers, listening to our sometimes chaotic ideas, or quietly handling the behind-the-scenes work that many don't realize. They were there through every step. And in doing all of that, they taught us lessons we'll carry far beyond high school. On top of everything they've done for us together, they have also individually played such a significant role in our high school experience. Mrs. Hull has dedicated herself to school spirit. You will catch her at most likely every sport game and can rely on seeing her cheer proudly in the crowd. Mrs. Hull has also helped arrange class events, fundraisers, and plenty more. Her organization and commitment constantly amazes me, especially through busy and overwhelming times. Mrs. Hull shows up with a smile and a mission. That is what makes her so special. Without her, I have a feeling we'd be pretty lost considering the amount of guidance she has given us. We will be forever grateful for everything she's done for us and for all the memories she helped us create. Mr. Leonard is arguably one of the funniest and most genuine human beings you'll ever meet. Not just as an advisor, but also as a teacher, a role model, and a close companion. Mr. Leonard has touched so many students' hearts with his rare ability to understand and listen to you without having to repeat yourself. He is someone you can turn to with any doubts or worries and will guide you through times of crisis like he has done for myself. Mr. Leonard helped me through thick and thin when I was struggling my sophomore year. Without him, I often question if I would have made it here to walk the stage today. Just as he has done for myself, Mr. Leonard has been there for many other students in our class that have found themselves lost on the windy road of high school. And although Mr. Leonard is an exceptional advisor, I'm sometimes convinced he became a teacher to get summers off in fall bug season. The impact that Mr. Leonard has had on our class is something we hold so close to our hearts as we continue into our next chapter. So Mrs. Hull and Mr. Leonard, it will continue to be a mystery what we would have done without either of you. The memories we've created together are ones we'll carry with us long after we walk out of this room today. We've been incredibly lucky to grow under your guidance, and we're truly grateful for everything you've poured into the class of 2026. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, staff, family, friends, and the graduating class of 2026. My name is Amber Leonard, and I'm honored to be speaking to you all tonight as your class treasurer. When thinking of a class gift, we put our heads together and ask ourselves what physical gifts could possibly give back what our school has given to us and shaped us to the people we are today. The truth is that no object could ever fully capture the impact that NHS has had on each of us. In a way, the students in the school are kind of like a symbiotic relationship in which we both benefit from one another. While NHS has helped shape us, we have also helped shape NHS just as much. Big or small, each and every one of us has left our mark on the school. Whether you are involved in extracurricular activities, part of one of our CTE programs, a dual enrollment student, or simply someone who found a class, teacher, or friend that inspired you, you have contributed to making our school a better place. Those of us in extracurriculars have made our mark through leadership, teamwork, collaboration, and school spirit, while others have left their mark through kindness, perseverance, creativity, friendship, and the unique perspective that they have brought to our halls each day. Despite all the impressive programs and opportunities we have been fortunate to experience, it is often the smallest moments of choosing that have truly shaped our school. Choosing to sit with a new person at lunch, choosing to exchange a joke with the teacher as you walk by them in the hallway, choosing to talk with that person who sits next to you in class that you've been too nervous to reach out to first. These choices may have seemed small at the moment, but together they have created the culture and environment of NHS. Our school is much like an ever-growing Lego creation. Each graduating class adds another piece for our future classes to build upon. Over time, those individual contributions have become something much greater than any one person or administration could create. Given this fact, we wanted our class gift to represent the next building block in the ever-growing creation and legacy of Narragansett High School that would benefit the future generations to come. With that in mind, we are proud to announce that the class of 2026 has chosen to fund the renovation of the Agri-Science Department's sugar shack. This year, the school was unable to produce any
which is unfortunate because we are the only school in the state that sells maple syrup. Usually, the income of syrup goes to the exercise department and can be used towards program needs. Our donation will go towards a new evaporator fan, repairing the door, and installing new windows. Through these renovations, we hope to restore the Sugar Shack and reopen the business for the coming years. Our class gift may help restore a building, but the true legacy of the class of 2026 goes in the people, moments, and connections that have shaped the school along the way. As future generations continue to add their own pieces to NHS, we are proud to know we were part of building something that will last far beyond our time here. Thank you.
All right, now the best part. Principal Kozlowski, on behalf of the Narragansett School Committee and the residents of the town of Narragansett, I want to offer my congratulations and present to you the class of 2026 with all the rights, honors, and privileges associated with the designation of graduate of Narragansett High School. Congratulations to the class of 2026.
Ethan Nicholas Smith. Agutan Karuna Lohan. Adrian Fitzgerald Duncan. Sophia Hannah DiBiasio. Amber May Leonard. Riley Cannon Cronin. Lily Rose Furia. Hannah Ellen Abrams. Aaron Magnus Harone. Peyton Hope Abrams. Emma Lynn Anino. Cooper Robert Ansaldi. Nathan DaCosta Aragao. Selvin Eduardo Arias. Maya Irene Armstrong. Gabriel Robert Barbado. Gunner Warren Houston Beckelman. Aviara Cope Benavides. Marshall Allen Ben. Abigail Chase Blair. Ava Lorraine Bachoven. Drew Catherine Bachoven. Addison Elizabeth Bonner. Matthew Edward Boodle. JJ Brindamore. Mario Joseph Capezza. Olivia Marie Citron. Aiden Martin Clancy. Grant Lewis Conradi. Taylor Lynn Cranston. Rowan Michael Presser. Grace Emily Cronin. Grace Tina Dean. Mia Grace DeLuise. William Leon DeWardner. Jackson Joseph DeFilippo. Kevin Naoki Dobbin. Isaiah Abtamu Donaldson. Tessa Marie Dorado. Madison Dunn. Troy Armin Dunning. William Edward Ferraro. Benjamin David Fisher. Natalia Fontana. Allison Dorothy Fowler. Abigail Rebecca Gibbs. Jalen Rose Gonzalez.
Nina May Hamlin. Quincy John Hammond. Hunter Lynn Hetherington. Jackson Murphy Bold. Madden Elaine Hopewood. Keegan Harold Johnson. Gavin Christian Jones. Bailey Louise Kent. Zayden Cage Kent. Sierra Elizabeth Keelty. Luke Benjamin Lamson. Grace Elizabeth Leonard. Sean Henry McGuire. Beckett James Manton. Devin Mycroft Marandola. Abigail Lynn Maruska. Scarlett Hope Masson. Forrest John Seamus McNamara. Chloe Rose McNiff. Gabriel David Mel. Lennon Alicia Meyer. Olivia Jean Myers. Dylan Forrest Nosh. Hunter James Nosh. Jack Travis O'Connor. Javon O'Donnell Sampson. Owen William Oakes. Vito Joseph Paglia. Tiago Alexander Pinheiro. Lucas James Previtt. Brenna Paige Reardon. Cecilia Rose Red. Noah Matthew Resnick. Avery May Richard. Emma Louise Rogan. Josephine Jordan Scowcroft. Olivia Louise Sepsic. George Franklin St. Hilaire. Jace Alexander Stephen. Taryn Edmund Ulrichson. Aiden Richard Van Hine. Gino Joseph Virgilio. Elena Sky Waterstone. Jonah Weiss Nessholder. Christopher Matthew Wynn. Serene Johannes Wood. Abigail Rose Zelenek.
Good evening, school committee members, teachers, families, friends, and of course, the Narragansett High School graduating class of 2026. Our names are Sierra Kilty and Olivia Citrone. We are proud to have been this year's Student Council co-presidents, and it is with great pleasure that we deliver to you one final speech before we lead us all into officially becoming alumni of Narragansett High School.
When we were thinking about what we wanted to speak about tonight, we kept coming back to the one thing that ties us all together, and that is the close, tight-knit community that we are so lucky to call home. Everyone here can attest to the fact that we all grew up beside one another, watching, supporting, as we all grew through the different phases of life.
From pizza pig-outs to March Madness dances to spirit weeks and proms, our childhood slipped through our fingers right before our eyes. Nobody tells you when childhood ends. There's no exact moment, no warning, no big announcement. One day you are walking into school like it's just another normal morning, and then suddenly you realize these are the last moments of a life you've known forever. The last first day of high school, the last field day, senior week, and all the other important milestones in between.
For the past 13 years, NSS has been our routine, our comfort, our whole world in a way. After tonight, we will all go in different directions. Some of us are excited, some terrified, and some probably both. A lot of people think that graduating means leaving behind the version of us that grew up in this school system. But maybe growing up means understanding that childhood doesn't disappear all at once. We carry pieces of it with us. The people we've met, the lessons we've learned, and the moments that have shaped us. And even as this chapter closes, those memories will always be a part of who we are.
We would like to take a moment to thank all of the loved ones in the audience that stood by our side through every challenge, lesson, and accomplishment. And especially to the parents, thank you for all the early mornings, always making sure we're prepared, whether it was for a test or getting ready for prom. Your love, support, and sacrifice have helped us reach this moment. You encouraged us through challenges, celebrated our successes, and believed in us even when we doubted ourselves. And for that, we are forever grateful.
And to the graduating class of 2026, if you take one thing away from this speech, please let it be this. You're all heroes in your own... Stay true to yourself. You're all heroes in your own special way, and you can all do great things, far greater than you could ever imagine. We've grown with all of you, and therefore we have seen what you are all capable of, so please never stop believing in yourself.
Narragansett High School graduates, please stand.
And now, please join me in moving your tassel from right to the left. Congratulations, class of 2026!